Dominic, it's your boy Ink. You guys are doing well. Welcome to another episode. It is a season 2, episode 9. It is called All I Need Is Gun. It's a super good episode. A lot of stuff going on, a lot of stuff to talk about. We started the scene with Lori with the walker, and I think this scene serves an amazing purpose. And that purpose is to say, yeah, oh, not everybody's a fucking survivor. Not everybody's Rick, Shane, or Glenn, or even Daryl. She has a problem with one walker, and it's not because she's weak. It's just because, again, people have been taking care of other people, and if you want a group, everybody has to be strong, right? It has to be everybody can survive on themselves. Because Rick and Urshel, they hide from a group, the group of the people we shot, right? And again, the issue is technically, we shot their friends. First of all, second of all, we're looking like asshole, and third of all, guess what? We don't know if they're friendly or mean. So they're hiding, right? They shout for help because they're human. Ricky's like, listen, this is what happened. He tells the truth. We're all human. Let's understand. I'm sorry about your friend. We didn't know what to do. I'm sorry. We apologize. And then they start fighting, right? But then after they start fighting, they're in a town, so there's a zombie coming up, right? And then they have to run away. It's just amazing because you see Ricky's like he's like saying we're all in this together, we're all humans, and he gives out a survivalist kind of like it gives out a survivalist kind of speech, right? And it's important to understand because at the end of the day, Urshel is gonna see that, and Urshel is gonna understand that Ricky's right. Urshel trusts and respects Rick, which means he respects and trusts in his opinion as a person, which again super fucking important by the by. Realize which survival versus kind. We're seeing, yeah, exactly. Survival versus kind. Urshel understand. Lori is lost, and Daryl. Okay, I took some notes because I did watch it this morning. Lori is lost, and people are asking Daryl, and it's amazing because first of all, Lori and Daryl just fought. So he's like, "Fuck her, I'm not gonna help her," which is understandable. Also, people are always asking for Daryl to find people, and then he's going out there risking his life, right? And then when he doesn't find where he find them, nobody gives a shit. So he's like, "Fuck no, I'm not gonna help her." So then, Shane goes. Shane goes, and again, by Shane going, not it's kind of shitty because there's a sentiment of Shane always has to do, and the pressure Shane is getting is the reason why Shane is acting the way he is because he's tired of three people. It's a lot of pressure. Why do you think that Shane wanted to leave? For Lori, sure. Why do you think he wanted to leave? Because he was tired of supporting a group that didn't care about him, right? The whole speech against Dale about how he's not doing anything. Of course, he doesn't like Dale, and of course, it is to attack Dale. But there is some truth under that, right? When was the last time we saw a scene with T Dog? When is the time last time that T Dog served any purpose? It's not because it's T Dog. I can think of a couple people that does that. When's the last time we saw? Well, Deli has a lot, and Jesse has a lot. Well, technically only T Dog, sadly. Jimmy, from the Green family. That's about it. Beth has been in shock for 2 episodes now, right? So we got the survival versus kind. Understand, Laurie's lost. Daryl offers to help. Shane goes sad. Carl, because Carl, more of Rick rationalizing. A sad Carl because Carl is afraid of Shane leaving, and then his father is gone. Shane is gone, so he's sad because everybody's leaving, right? And they're always gone. We got more of Rick rationalizing, which promotes a new world. So what I'm trying to say here is that the new world is the zombie apocalypse. Like, yo, we should all be friends. There are more of them than us. We have to help each other out to survive. There's enough resources for everybody. But it says that in one hand, and the other hand, it's like, no, you're not coming to my farm, which is Urshel farm. So you see, there's kind of like this dichotomy, this duality of speech. But you do understand that, yo, you go your way, I will go our way, but then we're in the shit together now. Let's help each other out, which makes sense. And then again, you're proud of Rick because Rick is accepting that this is the new world. It always feels like since Rick took out the sheriff badge, he's thinking about more about survivalist and less about being kind. Not that he's not kind, but still. We got which won't New World. Glenn almost shot, which he flinches. He's not gonna play such an important role because this is a monumental moment in Glenn's storyline. We got Urshel to protect Glenn, which again create a new bond. We know Maggie and Glenn are together in this, and Glenn kind of went there to help Urshel to get his favor, to get Maggie, but he never really had a chance because Glenn, although he's a magnificent character, he's nowhere near as imposing or as place taking as Rick. Rick is a clear leader. Urshel likes Rick, so most of the time, if you're three people and you like somebody and you like to talk to this person, then other person, and you don't really know them, you're not gonna be like, oh, let's have a talk with this guy. Plus, he's fucking the daughter, so right. There's that too. New World, Glenn's almost shot. Urshel protect Glenn, leads to bond. Rick immunity to save a kid. So even then, Rick gave this whole speech about how we did survive. He's hearing a kid scream, and ultimately, it's like, yo, we have to save him as a kid. And that decision is not a decision that people are gonna like, but still, is a humanity. As Rick, he was proning, surviving, but then on the first second he had, there's still this humanity left, and it's important, right? But Shane lied to. Again, Shane, he finds Lori, and then he lied that Rick is at the camp to get her back, which ultimately, yes, he lied, and ultimately that sucks. But at the end of the day, you did try to help her. She was alone. She wouldn't have not made it. She was taking risk for stupid risk. And Shane saw that she had wrecked her car, and he said she's not clearly thinking. We're gonna lose her, right? And she's pregnant with his child, so again, important. And Shane is willing to lie and say that Rick is at a camp, even though that could push her to say, oh, I love Rick more, because he cares about her, right? We got Daryl is mad at Carol for Sophia, and guess what? Now that I'm seeing the consent fight, it's kind of crazy because maybe I'm reading into nothing, maybe I'm overthinking, but there's a lot of time where Daryl, he talks about his parents, and at first when you saw that, you think that he's trying to say that, oh, Carol is trying to be nice to him to like, not adopt him, but just to make him feel like he's worth something. But in reality, the reason why what was going on here is that she was alone in the woods. She didn't have parents. Nobody cared for her. Nobody looked for her. And Daryl felt that way. And was a kid. He felt like Sophia wasn't a kid. He was lost. He got lost. Nobody helped him. So this was his chance to heal this younger trauma, right? And didn't get it. And then Carol's like, yo, I'm gonna take care of you. Like, you didn't care for your daughter. Why do you care for me? Super important. In 8, she reminded of a kid. Shane tell group Lori's pregnant, and it sucks because Carl didn't know. Like, the rest of the group are happy because, like, yo, he didn't tell me. That sucks. And honestly, it's amazing because Carl is happy. He's like, oh, what's going on? And you got the beauty of a kid being happy because he's gonna have like a brother or a sister. And it's nice because Carl reminds us of a time before. Like, we're happy about somebody pregnant. It's a blessing. It's a new life. And Carl's like, yo, I'm gonna be a big brother. He's happy, and the whole group are seeing him, and he's like, yo, that's amazing. This is pretty cool. They were talking about having a talk, and I was kind of worried that we're gonna have a talk on TV, but nah, thank God. We got Shane who's apologized to Lori. He justified himself. He tells her, I love you. Again, pushing her to take a decision of. And the craziest thing with Shane, you might think he's a fucking asshole, but you know what I think? You know what I believe? Truly believe? He tells Lori he loves her, and he's willing to accept her saying, I don't love you. I love Rick. I'm gonna be with Rick. But Lori only tells him she only tells him I love Rick and be with Rick. She never tells or push away or rejects Shane. She never rejects him. She absolutely never rejects him. And that led to the first season when he was being persuasive, he was being persistent and having sex with her. Right? It's because she never give him closure. She never pushed him away. And that's bad. Because again, you can understand where he's coming from. He wants her and Carl back, and by Carl, it's like he reminded himself before Rick was there, right? Which ultimately led to the season finale. But then you remember the time before. He's like, you cannot tell me that didn't feel right. You cannot tell me that I didn't care for Carl. You can't tell me that I was not a good example for Carl, which he was. He was not Rick. Rick is there, but it was a good example, and it wasn't like this horrible situation if we had no choice, right? We have Lori and back Lori, okay. Andrea and Maggie talk about sex, and then it's kind of cool because ultimately it's two girls talking about sex. So as a man, I do appreciate, but ultimately it's about the relationship between Glenn and Maggie, and the fact that she knows that they're fucking, and how good it is to find love. And you could say love is not necessarily sex, but for Maggie and Glenn, it started with sex, right? And it's kind of cool because at the very end, Andrea tells Maggie, Glenn's a good guy. Glenn is really a good guy. So you kind of feel like, holy shit, right? She has a Glenn back, and everybody in the camp love Glenn, which we do too. A lot of people, they love Glenn, me included. With Rick and Urshel gone, Dale's now afraid that Shane is in power with the group, and he's like, "Dude, guess what? We have to find something. We have to find a solution." Like Shane is in charge, and if Shane's in charge, and technically he's right because if Shane is in charge, then take care of the farm. He's gonna take over the farm, right? Which sucks. We got the group is back, which is Rick. Rick is mad at Lori because she left to find him, and she had good intent, but it was a stupid move. And plus she's pregnant. I'm not saying if you're pregnant you should be extra careful, but you should be extra careful. They got mad because there's a danger with Randall being here. You know, the place we don't know if we can trust him. But then again, we're trying to say, hey, he's a kid. We have to help him. And ultimately, now we're gonna think about it next episode. We got Riddle, Dale and Shane, Maggie. Okay, Dale and Shane, how they're finding out. Dale's agreeing with Rick, to bring Randall back, and Shane's like, no, gonna let him loose. And then letting him loose, he saw the camp, he saw the farm. So the only possible solution is to kill him. You don't want to kill a person because they might say who you are or where you are. Yeah. It's pretty complicated. We got Maggie and Glenn. Oh my god, this is such a beautiful moment. Glenn, he's kind of mad at Maggie because he's in love with her, and because of that, he's afraid of dying. He's not taking risks because he wants to come back to her. And Maggie, she wants to kiss him, but he's like, no, you don't understand. They need me. They need me to survive. They need me to be my top of the game. I'm choosing you over them. And it sucks because he didn't want to make that choice. And in a perfect world, he would have had both, right? But because Maggie told him she loves him, now he's worried about her, and he's taking risk, and that's how he gets killed. Glenn, the reason why he could go in Atlanta, and he saw Glenn in the beginning of the series, wanting to be alone, be very lonely, being very like a loner, and that's because he knew that by himself he wouldn't care about dying, or by himself he wouldn't be afraid of dying. But now that he has a group that he loved, that he has a girl that he loves, he's dying, right? And there's also guilt because he's fucking Maggie, and we know that Urshel not necessarily like he's not super happy about that, and Urshel did save his life. We got Glenn in the fit of dying because love. Maggie, she gets mad at Urshel because she abandoned it. He abandoned her, and he left her to take care of everything. And she's like, "Oh, you cannot leave. You cannot let me do it." And then she and doing that, she's mad at the Urshel for good reason because he did leave her. And although Maggie could take care of everybody, she shouldn't have to take care of everybody because Urshel's part of the family, and he cannot leave because he has to take care of the group, right? So that's why I love Maggie. She gets mad at Glenn for leaving, right? She doesn't get mad at Rick or Shane because she doesn't care, but she get mad at Urshel because he's leaving. So she's afraid of losing people she loves, and that applies to Glenn and Urshel. And if she wasn't mad at Urshel leaving, it would have not felt real that Glenn was leaving. So it's super good. We got yeah, but in her, we got Andrea and Shane, and how they both survive her. They're the only one that understand that they have to do like a lot of shit to make sure that the group survive. And ultimately, Andrea, she's following Shane, but Shane's like, yo, you shouldn't follow me. I'm going down the path you don't want to go. And he's trying to protect Andrea, but ultimately Andrea thinks and agree with what he's trying to say. And it's kind of crazy because the whole season they built up Andrea to follow in the footsteps of Shane, right? So it would be normal that if Shane was to do like a coup or like a seize power, Andrea would help him. Maybe we don't have that. We got Ben and her, Lori, Rick, she's afraid of Shane, Rick kills like the group. So here here, okay? Here is where I'm gonna get fucking mad, right? So I'm gonna start by saying the good. She tells Rick how good he is, how nice he is. Now, oh my god, bro, this is a disgusting scene. I'm sorry, I do like Lori. And if you felt like I didn't like Lori, well, it's because it's this exact scene. This is a scene where I was fucking mad at her. Ultimately, she talks about Rick about how Shane is a bad person, and Rick is like, "Yo, I have to kill two people today, and to protect my own, to protect you, protect the baby." And then she plays in his mind. She plays in Rick's mind, saying, "Shane is dangerous. Shane has to be stopped. Shane has to be do this," and she manipulates him because she's saying, like, "Would you kill to protect me and your daughter or your son?" I just ruined the spoiler. Sorry. Yeah. And she's finding, would you kill to protect me and the group? And Rick says yes. And then right away she does a talk about how Shane's a danger to them, how Shane is trying to push her towards him. And she's playing in his mind. So again, Lori, oh my fucking god, she's manipulating Rick into killing Shane. Because again, Lori, who had a relationship with Shane, she's basically telling Rick, I know I have this relationship with this guy, right? But it's getting out of control, and I need you to solve this. No, 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 no. The difference between Lori and Shane in this situation is Lori came and asked Rick to take care of Shane, but Shane never said, "Yo, I fuck your girl, and I want her back." Shane always kept his distance toward Rick out of respect. He always kept his distance, and Lori, she's basically like telling him, "Yo, you need to take care of him." She doesn't mean kill Shane, but you have to do something, and you have to take him off the group. And basically, it's her. I'm not saying that it's all on Lori. I'm saying that she's responsible. They both share responsibility on their past action. The reason why Shade likes her, because she gave him the idea that he could love her. She gave him something he never had when she was a kid. She gave him something he never had. She's having his baby, right? And there's so much fucking things that's going on, and it's fucking sucky because at the end of the day, Lori, she's pushing Rick, and Rick also is a strong guy. He listens to Lori, and Lori, if she has those ideas, and basically, I'm not trying to touch about Lori, but in this very episode, she was driving a car out of the middle of nowhere to get Rick. She didn't have a weapon with her. She didn't have anything to protect her. She just wanted to get Rick. For what reason? She's not thinking clearly. It's a disgusting scene. It's a really disgusting scene, and fuck you for doing that. Fuck you for doing that. That was, I love you guys. Peace.